Hello there fellow fans of Hollow Knight, I've returned after spending the past few days glued to my screen playing Spot the Difference since we got our new assets. And I know I shouldn't say that because someone will actually believe it. Okay, I did spend some time today going through all the trailers again to figure out what I missed in my previous video, and I made some interesting findings, or at least interesting to me because there are a few minor tells that confirm the new screenshots are more recent than the last time we saw the locations they feature. Let's start with the new screenshot taken in Mossy Grotto, which is the starting area of the game, filled with haunted/possessed foliage-themed creatures, and your first boss, Moss Mother. When you saw it, you may have recognized the location because yes, we have seen it before, twice actually. The first being in the first Silksong trailer, the big reveal, and then again, it makes up part of the E3 2019 demo that we got to see via Nintendo Treehouse. Obviously, if I put them all up on the screen, lots of similarities still. Quick reminder that in-game screenshots are always going to appear better quality than the ones taken from YouTube videos, but what I want to know is, what does Team Cherry have against plants? Why do they hate plants? Exhibit A, there's way less lily pads on the water. We know you can go through the spine-looking thing to another hidden area, so maybe they thought it wasn't obvious enough that you could swim in the water, so they made this nice, tempting gap to dive into. It's not just the lily pads though. Where did all the longer leaves on the wall go? Team Cherry, what's with the deforestation? Do you hate the environment? Okay, that's enough joking about that. The actual two big differences are, one, the new spikes in the background, hopefully just added decor and not a reference to a giant new boss in the starting area, because that was just supposed to be to get you used to controlling Hornet. And number two, check out that thread spool in the corner. Now, we already know, thanks to the Edge magazine interview, that there are certain enemies who have the ability to stop you from generating silk, and I believe it's just a temporary effect. And this is what it looks like when it happens. Notice how the end of the spool is gone and the rest of the bar is fractured. What I'm confused about is how has this happened in Mossy Grotto? As far as we know, it's literally full of baby creatures that are pretty easy to take care of before we make it to the first town. We also see this deny effect in action in the GIF they provided to introduce Grindle, the snitch bug that we learn about through Riddle, who will give you information that isn't always trustworthy in exchange for rosaries. Maybe this means we meet him a lot earlier than expected. Or maybe they revamped Mossy Grotto since the demo. Out of the 4 new screenshots, Deep Docks would be the next area that we visit in-game, so let's move on to the boss fight that I believe takes place there. They did tell us during the Nintendo Treehouse stream that Deep Docks was another early area, hence its feature in the demo, and again, it's full of haunted, possessed creatures, but in a slightly different way. This time, it's bellheads obsessed with their work. They have a goal that they're working towards, presumably mining coal for the Citadel higher-ups. We've seen this specific boss a few times, first in the announcement reveal trailer, and then, which I completely forgot about in my last video, the extra screenshots that went up on the PlayStation app a few years ago. It does seem all the wibbly wobbliness is the heat effect, but clearly it's been in the game for a while and not a new addition. It's very difficult to compare just based on these, but like before, the PlayStation screenshot and the new screenshot look so different to the reveal trailer and the screenshot available in the Silksong website press kit, which is a good thing. I do prefer the higher contrast in my old age. The most interesting thing to mention here is that both the 2 newer screenshots have the Reaper crest equipped, which you can tell by the HUD in the top left corner. Yes, I have done a lot of research to remind myself of everything since my last video, and yes, I have got a crest and tool explanation video coming very soon. So I do have to wonder when they decided to add the HUD variations, because the first trailer didn't have any of them, but they did show a brief clip of the Wanderer crest, so the crests were in the game at least. The PlayStation screenshot also shows a weird bone mask instead of a health mask, which we have seen a few times in different assets, and I don't think we know what that means yet. Maybe it's another enemy effect, or maybe it's part of Silk Soul, so once you reach that mask, your run is over. I don't know where Coral Forest appears in the running order of the game, but I presume it's before the Citadel, so we'll check that screenshot out next. Again, we see another HUD variation, so a different crest to before, and presumably they have a passive active so they can generate twice as much thread as normal. I do have some different thoughts about the white icons now, and I'll share that in the tool video. I couldn't find an exact copy of what's happening here, but it just looks like this scene from the Game Pass trailer, obviously a different area, but what else could it be? Okay, finally, we've reached the Citadel. The enemies there are very easy to spot with the matching face tattoo helmet, and also they're the ones who had you in the cage in the first place. They've got the fancy gilded armor, the pins for swords, and some of them can even use silk like Hornet can. Lots of bugs in the background that look like the creepy distant villagers who trick you into the Beast Den in Hollow Knight, and again we've got a different crest equipped. I couldn't find an exact copy for this location in any of the trailers, but every instance I could find with those kinds of enemies was not nearly as detailed. There's lots of webs in here too, which makes sense, and I honestly, I cannot wait to find out everything. I'm so excited right now, so I have so many scripts in progress, and I can't wait to share them with you all. I'll leave it there for this one. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss anything, and I'll see you in the next one.